Welcome to your Valhalla of Nostalgia with the 80s and 90s Uncensored. I am Milo Dennison.
And I'm Jamie Fenderson, and today we're going to do a versus episode. We're going to do Mr. Wizard's World versus
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Dude, I've got that theme song stuck in my head from doing my research because I was watching Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science
Bill. Yeah, like it's very easy to get stuck in your head. Bill Nye the Science Guy. I think Mr. Wizard should go first on this one because he was around first, and Mr. Wizard, in a lot of ways, led to Bill Nye the Science Guy.
He was around first, and he actually kind of made this whole thing. So he started out in 1983, and he went all the way to 1990. Do you remember watching Mr. Wizard?
I don't, but watching clips of it in researching for today, I remember him. I remembered that I've seen him and I've seen his shows. I gotta do a shout out to Bill Hader on Saturday Night Live. He does a Mr. Wizard skit where he's like full on Mr. Wizard, and they're doing like static electricity thing with balloons, and he's got like the kids, and there's like, we're gonna learn about static electricity, like and stuff, and he's got the kids rubbing balloons on them. He's like, hey, rub it on yourself, rub it on your friend, and then like one of the boys and one of the girls are rubbing them on each other, and they're like, oh yeah, I like that, and then like, the boys rubbing it on the girl's boobs and the girls rubbing it on the guy's crotch. And they're like, yeah, I like science. It's so funny. Like, if you haven't seen it, look it up. It's on YouTube. It's great.
Yeah, because he used to have like real kids.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'm going to talk about the episode I remember that pissed me off.
Okay.
Because he used to do like, he was slow and honest about his stuff and real
very
results.
Paced.
Very paced, very good. And there was one kid who was like, where they were making cheese and how it curdled and the curds versus whey. And the kid's like, and he's like, you want to have and Mr. Wizard's like, you want to have a bite? And he's like, I don't like cottage cheese. Fuck you, dude. You're on Mr. Wizard's World. Like, eat the cottage cheese, bro.
Pretend you like it, kid.
Yeah, hey, I don't like cottage cheese.
Well, this is on the producers then. Why'd they have this stupid kid on? They should have asked him in advance and be like, this is what we'll be researching, kids.
But this is what's up, dude. It was honest research on TV. That's the cool thing about Mr. Wizard. So the experiments unfolded slowly. They unfolded honestly. And sometimes they didn't work. And Mr. Wizard was like, I'm okay with it not working. Because that's science, right?
Science, yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't just work with Mr. Wizard. Don Herbert, by the way, was his name. And he actually had a show in the 50s. So he goes way back. So they didn't just watch it. Like, kids worked with him. And mistakes were in the episodes, dude. And what I like about Mr. Wizard, I used to watch it like when I was really up late. It was kind of the Canadian Nickelodeon days in 1983. And he used to be on weird hours. But I still, like, because I'm on in weird hours too, I used to watch him, dude. And he was awesome.
That's why I didn't watch him. I didn't have Nickelodeon, you rich people with your cable television.
No, I was at my grandma's house. I didn't have it either. Yeah. And he assumed the audience could handle real explanations, right? So he did these experiments with kids, and they did it with like household items and stuff. And it was kind of slow. It was patience. It was critical thinking. He's like the Mr. Rogers of science. That's what I liked about him. And it felt like a real lab, not just a TV show. So it wasn't flashy. It didn't demand attention like we get today, even. And it's kind of old-fashioned. Even at the time, it was kind of old-fashioned. Like, he's just kind of doing his thing. Like, even in the 80s, it was still kind of old-fashioned. So, yeah, that's why I really like Mr. Wizard's World, dude. It was cool, chill science experiments with real kids. Maybe they didn't even know what was going on. with real household items, right? So that's what I really dig, Mr. Wizard's World. I think we need more of that now.
There is no way kids of today would watch Mr. Wizard's World.
They wouldn't.
They do
You're
not
right.
have the attention spans for it.
No,
No way.
dude, that's true. And that's sad. That's sad. If any young people are listening and you're like, I couldn't watch that, that's sad.
It's true.
That's why everything's failing now. That's why STEM students are failing. Everybody's failing. That's why they're lowering the bar for STEM. Everybody is stupid because they don't have Don Herbert in their life, dude. It hands-on learning instead of lectures. He could be a teacher. I think he was actually. Everyday objects. Kids deserved real explanations with him, dude. He used like bleach and vinegar and baking soda and balloons and ice. Dude, stuff you could find at home, and you could do science experiments. And sometimes they failed and he was like, "Yep, we're not going to edit that out." That's why I love Mr. Wizard, dude. And he didn't even like Mr. Wizard because he's like, dude, it's not magic. He didn't even like that title. It's not magic, it's science.
It was put on him. And he does stuff that's kind of dangerous too. Like, but he's very like, hey, do not do this without your parents' supervision. Because I saw a couple like where he was doing something with
Mm-hmm.
fire and like it made this thing explode, and it's like make sure. And I'm like, I don't. I think some parents probably should also not be in charge of this. Like, I'm sure it was a different generation, right? But I can imagine some dumbass parent and be like, oh yeah, oh that was cool, let's do more, right? And the
Yeah,
kid's like, I
yeah.
don't think that's a good idea,
Yeah,
Dad.
yeah.
And the dad's like, oh, it's fine, don't worry about it, give me another beer,
Yeah.
I'll show you how to do this. Yeah. We'll put this on YouTube, it'll be great.
Yeah. But that was kind of Nickelodeon's like first, like Nickelodeon came around and that was kind of their first kind of science show. So this is kind of old school 80s. What, and he goes back to the 50s. He did stuff in the 50s, dude. In the early 60s, like he goes way back. So Nickelodeon was trying to make its thing. Remember that? With You Can't Do That on Television. I think this was also produced in Canada. Everything was produced in Canada in early Nickelodeon lore.
Yeah, he was cool, I agree. And along came Bill Nye the Science Guy. So his show was a bit more flashy than Mr. Wizard's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he had pop-ups and moving camera, and like he'd talk in a more like, hey kids, da da da, let's do, how cool is that kind of a style. So very different personality. And I think a lot of that comes from his background. So I didn't know this, and this is pretty cool, by the way. So if you're a Seattleite from the 80s and 90s, you'll remember Almost Live. You're not a true Seattleite if you don't know what I'm talking about with Almost Live. So this was Seattle's version of Saturday Night Live in a sense. And Bill Nye, the Science Guy, Bill Nye was an engineer, just like Mr. Wizard. Actually, they both were engineers. That's their degrees. He worked for Boeing. He invented some lifter thingy that's on the 747. Like, very smart guy. But he also would do stand up on the side. And in doing stand up on the side, he met one of the producers of Almost Live and would start kind of getting drawn into that. And he kind of started out with the Science Guy thing because one of the hosts of Almost Live did a radio show, an AM radio show in the mornings, and people would call in, and the host of the show said gigawatt on an episode, and so Bill Nye calls in. He's like, "Hey, cool and all, but gigawatt, right?" Kind of a thing. So he corrects him from gigawatt to gigawatt, and the host is like, "What are you, the science guy?" Da, da, da. And then that led into a reoccurring character of Bill Nye the Science Guy. And his first appearance on the show was because they actually had a guest that was supposed to come in and be on Almost Live. And the person was a no-show. And so they're like, hey, Bill, get on and do 6 minutes of that sciencey stuff, right? So he's like, okay. So he gets on and he does this liquid nitrogen thing where I can't remember if it's one set place said it was an onion and another thing said it was a marshmallow, but basically he put a marshmallow or an onion
But it's
in,
real shit.
but it's real
That's the
stuff,
point.
into liquid nitrogen,
Yeah,
and does this
yeah.
entertaining thing. And it was like a hit. And so he became a regular, which then led to the guys being like, dude, we need to do a Mr. Wizard equivalent, right? So they go out and start shopping this around. And that's how they explained it to people. They actually said it's Mr. Wizard meets Pee-wee's Playhouse is Bill Nye the Science Guy. And they went to all the stations and they're like, no, that's dumb. We don't want that. Until eventually PBS decided to say, hey, okay, we'll give it a try. Thanks to public broadcasting, by the way.
We interrupt this broadcast for a bit of a rant. But don't worry, we'll be right back.
Shout out here to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which financed this show and now no longer gets money from the government. And I did the math on this little sidebar here. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting used to get $535 million from the US government to help fund stuff like this, education stuff. That's been completely cut. They're actually shut down. They've closed their doors this month in January of 2026. But 535 million comparison to the 2026 military budget, which is going to be over $900 billion, almost just under $1 trillion. So yay for cutting science. Yay for spending more on the military. Sidebar there.
And that was a soapbox moment presented by the 80s and 90s.
Anyway, so they sold the show. PBS picked it up, loved it, and became Bill Nye the Science Guy that we all know and love. Premiered in 1993. So he's awesome. It won numerous Emmys, including the show and him. He got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2025.
Really?
He's got 2025 Presidential Medal of Freedom that was given to him in 2025 by Joe Biden. For many people, he was their first introduction into scientific thinking and skepticism. Oh, do you miss scientific thinking and skepticism, Jamie? I miss that.
I do, dude. Totally.
No? Yeah. They met, Bill Nye and Mr. Wizard, actually. And,
Really?
And I saw an interview with Bill Nye, and he was talking about meeting Mr. Wizard and how Mr. Wizard was a fan and basically said Bill Nye is the next generation of Mr. Wizard. And so they actually were fans of each other's shows. Yeah. So isn't that great?
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was an interesting character, or he is an interesting character. He's still around. He's still doing his stuff. Bill Nye the Science Guy isn't on anymore, but he's done appearances on lots of things. He does little bits of different sciencey shows and all kinds of other things. So he's still around. He's still doing the sciencey stuff. He's the CEO of the Planetary Society, an advocating agency for space science and exploration. Just pretty cool. But it's so funny that he went from engineering to stand-up comedy to Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah. And he even like debates, like I remember like a YouTube video. He debated like the dude who in Kentucky who thinks dinosaurs and humans
lived at the same time
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a Christian thing, which
Yep.
I don't think all Christians are this way, but yeah, he's got his whole and I actually was like, why would you even debate that? And he actually acknowledged that sentiment, right? Like, why would you even debate someone who thought that the Flintstones were real? But he says, look, I'm an educator. I have to try because people are going to believe this stuff, and I have to try to counteract that with facts. And so I like Bill Nye. I like Bill Nye. Good. Thank you. I guess, we try, bro.
He also, interesting, because I know you're a Carl Sagan fan.
Mm-hmm.
When in Cornell, Bill Nye took a class that was taught by Carl Sagan.
No way, dude.
Yeah, found that in his biography.
Man.
So
that
he's met them all.
Been so cool. So here's what I think. I think Mr. Wizard was the pioneer. I think Don Herbert was the pioneer of science education. And here's what I like. I'm not discrediting Bill Nye for this, but Bill Nye's very flashy. Don Herbert, Mr. Wizard, is not. He is like, we're gonna actually. It's almost like a class. We're gonna do real science with real experiments, and if they fail, then they fail. That's part of science. Like, you have to understand that things fail and that you can fail, but you keep on keeping on, right? That's what I love about Mr. Wizard, is that it's almost like the Mr. Rogers of science. I don't have to have flashiness. I don't have to have weirdness. I'm just gonna go do my thing, real science. That's why and you know, everything that came after was from Mr. Wizard, right? Don Herbert. But I liked the Mr. Rogers, like, it is what it is aspect of him.
I could appreciate that. An advantage to Bill Nye, however, is the fact that he realizes audiences change. And it's like, do I want to keep presenting stuff in a way that is correct and a good way to present it, but feels like a class? Or do I want to present in a way that gets through to people? Just like your thing where he goes and debates the basically the guy that
Flintstones guy.
Yeah, the person that thinks the Flintstones is a documentary.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to try to get through to those people. And that's one thing I like about Bill Nye, is he's like, how can I educate people? What can I do? What can I change in my presentation in order to make this educational and gets through to people, which is nice. Not knocking on, obviously, Mr. Wizard, but when you brought this subject of this episode up, I literally was like, I know who Bill Nye is, but who's Mr. Wizard?
Yeah,
and I had to go look him up.
Yeah,
you remember
true.
that? And I'm like, who the hell is Mr. Wizard? And I had to go look him up. I'm like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember this guy.
Yeah. Which is sad, because oftentimes you don't remember the pioneers. You remember the people who did it better, which Bill Nye kind of did. Not better per se, but
got through better. I think the way he presented the message made it more palatable to the audience.
And more entertaining, let's just say it.
Yeah, that's true. He's an entertainer as well. And he understood the entertainment aspect.
Yeah.
As well as the science. I
like both. I like them both. I love them both. You and I weren't like pitting we're not like, yeah, yes, this is better, they're better. This Mr. Wizard was a pioneer in this, and Carl Sagan, like you said, and then Bill Nye kind of took it to a entertainment level, and I think that's okay. Like, do what you got to do to make people not stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do, man.
And here's the thing. It'd be nice if we had somebody now out there doing this type of stuff. Right? Who is there trying to teach science to people? You still got Bill Nye around. You got a couple of these old guys running around. But you don't have anybody new.
Yeah.
Doing this kind of stuff. Which
maybe they don't know that kind of stuff. Not a lot of them do.
Because we're defunding all of our educational agencies with the
government. Because you're all a bunch of like dumbasses. Like, what are you gonna do?
Oh, our audience isn't dumbasses. They listen.
No. They listen to us.
Smart. Yeah.
But you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you know who we're talking about, audience. I agree with you. I really like both these guys as well, but we have to do the verses. And you're right. It's not like the next gen, or it's not like Deep Sleep Nine versus Voyager, right? Where we both take legit sides. This is where we both can like agree that the other is good.
Agree that the other is good in their way.
In their way, exactly.
Well, and so Don Herbert was the pioneer in this, but Bill Nye took it to the whole next level and is more famous for it. So that's fine. Please do more of this. All of this, do more.
Totally agree. Like, without Don, there probably wouldn't be a Bill, and hopefully there's somebody else.
So yeah.
But as we always have to do with these verses, we got to put them in a cage, and we got to see who comes out on top. Mr. Wizard or the science guy? Who's walking out of that cage?
It depends on what you're thinking about, like, because Bill Nye's...
A science off or a punching off?
Yeah, right, because Bill Nye's younger, and Like, he's still here.
Well, let's say
Don
Mr.
Herbert
Wizard at
died in
his peak.
2007, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
in their
back in the day,
peak, I
Don.
don't know. Well, I
Was
think
there a peak?
he was in the military. Don Herbert was in the military. Totally. So at
So
their
he's got that
peak,
military training. He
at
fought in
their
World War II.
peak, yeah, at their peak, like, if you were gonna get them at the young age, I think Don Herbert would wreck him, dude. He's in the military. He's a badass. If they were the same age at the same time, Don Herbert would wreck him. But for showmanship, I think that yeah, and I don't know if that's a good thing, but for showmanship, I think definitely Bill Nye is a way better showman.
And science, just straight up science off. Give them a table across from each other with lab equipment.
I think that they would collaborate and like each other very much, and maybe find new ways, innovative ways to educate people. Because that's the thing about scientists, and you and I worked in the
tech industry,
and usually when you do collaborations instead of confrontations, you come up with something better.
Yeah, I agree. Like, we'd whiteboard stuff and be like,
Yeah,
okay, how can we work
that's
this
how
out?
we
Yeah.
were. That's why we don't like modern
society.
yeah, because you're all about like destroying each other and politics. But we used to collaborate, so I think they would collaborate in a whiteboard, figure like in a cage. If they were in a cage, they'd get together and collaborate to get out of the cage, and then they go have a beer.
I like it. Yeah. I agree with you on all of those. I think going fist to fist, Don's gonna take Bill out. Like, Bill's tall and wiry, but Don's got that solidness and, like you said, the military experience, showmanship. Bill's got it, and you put them in the cage together. They're coming out hand in hand because they figured it out.
They figured out how to get out of the cage because they know science. They solve problems.
Love it.
Listen, modern society, you could learn something from these guys in a cage. Like, we should all do what they would do in a cage. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's true. I agree. Well, I think we've reached the end of this episode. Let us know what you think. Bill Nye the Science Guy or Don. What's Don's last name again?
Don Herbert.
Don Herbert. Or
Don't
Don
you
Herbert.
know?
Don Herbert, a.k.a. Mr. Wizard. You can reach us on some of the social media channels at the80sand90s.com. You can reach us on our website, the80sand90s.com. And with that, we will say we are out of here because there is a science experiment growing in the back of Jamie's refrigerator, and we are eager to meet that new life form.
That's true, dude. I need to clean my place up. My son was over for some time. Oh, it's a mess. Yeah.